goal. That is a dream goal.
They found it. They finally found the goal they were looking for.
What a finish that is. Do not scratch your eyes. This is really happening. Hello everyone, welcome to the Game and Frame live stream. We're at Segra Field, the home of USL Championship side Loudoun United in Virginia for the APSL National Finals. I'm Josh Pratt with Jorge Espinosa behind the camera. After 10 months, the season comes down to this weekend. 4 teams left standing across the APSL's 9 conferences. We have the APSL defending national champions Westchester Predators from the DRC Conference. They will take on Prima FC, the Terminus Conference and Southeast Region champions in the first semi-final tonight. The second semi at 8 p.m. will see Alianza FC, the Midwest Regional champions, face Texas Giants, Foro Soccer Club, the Trinity Conference and Southwest Region champions. The teams span across 1,500 miles. This is the APSL's biggest season yet. After the full-time whistle blows on the final tomorrow, we will know who is the APSL's 6th national champion. And we can see the national champions Westchester warming up right now. This is the first time the Predators and Prima FC have met. Predators are undoubtedly the favourites. Their reputation precedes them across the land at this point. And they are unbelievable 45 games unbeaten in the APSL. They saw off Nova FC in the Northeast finals, and Nova, no slouches themselves, they made the last 4 national finals. Westchester's new teenage sensation, Fungia Donzo, has augmented an already devastating attack. And even with a more testing season after 12 players went pro in the past year, Westchester have still enjoyed a campaign of astonishing statistics. Forefront among all those, 118 goals in 26 games. Whilst Predators are a 50-year-old club, Prima FC is the story of a rapid rise from a pub team to an elite pre-professional side in the space of 15 years. The club has gone through multiple iterations, bumps in the roads and tragedy, but here they stand today at Segra Field, the USL Championship arena, to take on the defending national champions. Head coach Will Keegan said although he hoped Prima would get here one day, it was unthinkable for him 12 months ago that they'd do it in their inaugural APSL season. He said regardless of the result, the Atlanta side are going to soak in every moment of this experience, but make no mistake, there's plenty of quality in this squad. USL2 MPSL players, they intend to compete and give the defending champions a run for their money. Now we're sitting at about 80 degrees today in Leesburg, Virginia. Certainly a lot cooler than the national final last year. That should help with the tempo of all the games. Of course, every team competing for a spot in the national final tomorrow back here. That'll be 2:30 p.m. kickoff. So it's certainly a physically trying weekend. Those of you who tuned in last night saw Westchester playing an international game against the Arthurian League from England. It was the first ever Transatlantic Cup. Westchester won that on penalties. They certainly kept one eye on this semi-final with a lot of rotation, Westchester. But still 3 games in 3 days for this squad. It's a tall order. Well guys, our teams are just starting to strip down. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back shortly with our first APSL national semi-final between Westchester Predators and Prima FC.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish. Flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best play... Welcome back to Segra Field, everyone. The team's about to walk out. The referee's jumping the gun a little bit on our first walkout. One small blip in the start of what should be a very enticing weekend of soccer. The APSL National Final Four. Played in the home of Loudoun United, the USL Championship side. It's a fantastic venue. It's the defending national champions against the new boys from Atlanta.
Tonight's matchup features Prima Football Club from Atlanta, Georgia, taking on Westchester Predators from Pennsylvania. And what promises to be an exciting battle for a place in the
Well, whilst our announcer does it, let's go through starting 11s for both teams. We'll start with the reigning champions. In goal for Westchester, it is a familiar lineup. Tino Nice, who's penalty, you know, actually we'll hold that up away. We're going to go back. We're going to have the national anthems. There we go. We will go through our lineups now for both teams. We're going to start with the Predators, the defending national champions. In goal, Valentin Nice, who made two fantastic saves in the DRC semi-final to help Westchester get here. Bogle and Weaver, the pair in front of him. Rick at right back, Hilton at left back. Mason Miller in the defensive midfield position. Luca Mella and Sama Tima, the midfield pair. And then the front three, it is a frightening lineup. Ayub Muhu, who scored a fantastic goal yesterday in the Transatlantic Cup on the right wing. The teenage sensation, Donzo, who has scored 7 goals in his last 3 playoffs on the left wing. And the national top scorer last year in the APSL and the national top scorer this year in the APSL with 34 goals to his name. Riz Robinson leading the line. For the Atlanta side, Prima FC, in goal will be Barry. The Irishman Rooney alongside Fragakis at centre-back. James at right-back. Wegelin, the left-back. Carvalho and Grodhaus, the midfield pair. The number 10, Christopher Marshall, who had a spell playing with Chattanooga, professional Nisa side, and a key man to watch out for. Ryan Marcano, another player who played at Chattanooga. He's going to be on the right wing. Gabriel Alvarez, the top scorer with 25 goals for Prima this season on the left wing. And the player coach, Will Keenan, who takes so much credit for rebooting Prima 2 years ago and getting them this far in such a short space of time, is going to be leading the attack. Ridge Robinson will kick off proceedings here. And the starting gun is fired for the APSL National Finals. 4 teams from across 1,500 miles have assembled for this weekend. One will be crowned the 6th APSL National Champion. Westchester Predators do not easily relinquish a crown. Can they return to the APSL National Final tomorrow? Or will the upstarts from Georgia, Prima FC, continue their fairy tale inaugural APSL season? Speaking a fair bit with the centre forwards for Prima and also the coach, Will Keegan, who said a big adjustment for Prima today is the size of this field here at Segra. They're used to much tighter spaces. Said it will benefit them in possession. They do like to keep possession, and even against the national champions, they're going to try from the start with that insistence on having as much of the ball as possible. But the flip side, as he said, they're going to have to be really careful with all the spacing behind the back line and playing too high a line, particularly against this Westchester front three. Saw Hoboken a little slow on the catch-up in the first half of their Northeast semi-final against Westchester. They quickly learned their lesson after being 4-0 down after 45 minutes. Mind you, the second half of that story is Hoboken very nearly came back, brought it back to 4-3 with 10 minutes left. Truly a game of 2 halves. Tussle between Ryan Marcano and Miller, who's sitting in that defensive midfield position. And we're going to have an early hold up because Mitchell Barry forgot to tie his shoelaces. Got some elevator music in the stands just to add a touch of humour there, but Barry's shoelaces are tied up and we can get back to this semi-final. Should be mostly a serious affair. Here's Rooney, who has professional experience in Ireland. Played with Galway United in the League of Ireland, Athlone Town in the First Division. As it's a long-range lob, and you know, Barry will be relieved he did tie those shoelaces as he was backpedaling. Had to move those feet very quickly. Keegan, he's escaped his man, searching him behind, and brilliant tackle by Weaver. The enforcer at the back for Westchester. Sprayed out to Gabriel Alvarez, the top scorer for Prima in the APSL. Weaver winning his duel with Marcano. Mohu draws up to Ridge Robinson, his touch slightly wayward. Wegelin closed down by Mohammed. And then Ridge Robinson had a little push off the ball with Carvalho. Ridge Robinson did get himself a red card at the end of the 90 minutes in the Delaware River Conference semi-final against Real Central. It went to extra time. Westchester still found a way, but they certainly don't want any ill discipline from their captain. This afternoon, a red card would suspend him for the final. Beyond also, of course, the problems they're causing this evening. Grodhouse. Miller dispossessing. Poor pass by him, though. Wegelin. Tima, that's an inadvertent touch. Prima strike first. It's the skipper, Will Keegan. Inside 5 minutes at Segra Field. A dream start for the Atlanta boys in their first appearance in the national finals. Tima was trying to make the interception. It went horribly wrong and served up Keegan on a platter. No chance for Ganais. And the national champions trail early here in Virginia. Well, the positive, of course, from conceding so early for Westchester. So they've got all the time in the world to pull this back. Well, Westchester have not been particularly good in the postseason. That's their 8th goal they've conceded in 5 playoff games. The only clean sheet was against Oakland. Volcano. Uglin, who's pass inside, started off that goal for Keegan. Volcano. Keegan will chase after it, and he's going to be onside here. Bit of space here on the edge for Marshall, who was looking for that top right corner. Didn't get the bend. But beyond the early goal, Prima FC looking very sharp in these opening stages. Westchester looking uncharacteristically disjointed. Mohu. Mind you, it's almost a certainty with Westchester in the APSL that they will score, have not failed to do so in their previous 26 games this campaign. And indeed, I believe dating back to September of 2024, their goal scoring run. And that unbeaten run also extends back to September 2024. A remarkable 45 games consecutively. Rooney, really poor pass, Miller. Fingia Donzo with his first touch. Too much on it for Miller. Wayward pass by Donzo, but the man Prima cannot take their eye off for a second. 7 goals in 3 playoff games. He's been the match winner for Westchester every time, scored a late brace in the final of the Delaware River Conference against Oakland, scored a hat-trick against Hoboken in the Northeast semi, and scored. They've just got a referee coming over, telling the bench that they need to sit down. Then also Donzo scoring 2 goals late against Nova in the Northeast final to win the game 3-1 for Westchester. Just 19 years old. Barely has had any formal soccer training as well, which is remarkable. Played a lot of pickup, a lot recreationally. Didn't enter into any sort of formal travel program until he was 14. Rich Robinson nearly embarrassing Barry. Fragakis. Not the best of passes by him. Bogle. Hilton. Donzo almost ran that out. Couldn't find team up. Just simple passes that are not connecting for Westchester at the moment. They're looking, but they haven't quite got off the bus from Pennsylvania yet. Ryan Marcano steaming forwards, drives it. He was hoping towards Keegan. Gathered easily enough by Ganais. Miller. Donzo, lovely spin away from Rooney. Luca Mella. He's won it back, Mella. Mella still. Donzo onto his right foot. Donzo, really good block by Fragakis. Miller. The reigning champions coming straight back at the Georgians. Fragakis throwing his entire body in the way of that ball. Rick. Mohu. Cleared by Wagelin. Weaver, first spell of pressure for Westchester. Too much space afforded to Hilton. He sends it across. Barry off his line to gather. Tima. Miller. Miller helping it to Rick. Miller again. Rick. Ball took a deflection, which took it off of Robinson's toe. James got his feet in a bit of a muddle. Keegan, who has given Prima the early lead here. Grodhouse back to Keegan. It will be a throw-in deep inside the Predators' half. James giving it short. Hilton alert to it, and Donzo is just going to clear the lines. Ridge Robertson is going to give that chase. We did get a bit of rain about an hour before the kickoff, as Barry has got extraordinary luck in the first time. He's made another mess of it. Mohu! Barry saves it, and on the second one too. Oh, he's really got away with that one, Barry. Did make amends in the end with that save, but that's the second time he's just taken too much time on the ball, and Ridge Robinson very nearly punished him with the help of Mohu there. Huge let off for Prima. Lovely touch by Alvarez. Cavallo. Sprayed by Wagelin. Donzo able to check it temporarily. James. Grodhouse. Cavallo. Just a hopeful knock-up in the end. That was slightly misjudged by Hilton, I think, the header. Bogle did well in the second. Westchester turn it over in the midfield, and then Tima drew in the slightest contact. Bogle finds Donzo. He's got James a little isolated here, Donzo. They double up on him very quickly, and I know they've watched a ton of footage, Prima, of this Westchester side, so they know that basically all of the front three need to be doubled up on, if at all possible. Mohu. Miller. Bogle. Rick. A lot of space here for Mella. Fragakis closing him down, and the touch finding its way back to Barry. Not good distribution. It's Ridge Robinson on the edge of the area. Mohu. Just wonder if Robinson could have taken a shot there. Donzo, lovely spin on James. Pokes it in, and Miller cannons it over the crossbar. Good chance. He was 7 yards out. Put his foot through it, couldn't keep it down. Floated delivery by Donzo. Slightly high for Miller, but still a player of his quality. You'd expect to be able to keep that down and find the equaliser. I'm sure Westchester are really looking at Barry's footwork with hungry eyes, because he's played his team into trouble a few times already. The right back Rick trying to go on a one-man mission. Eventually ran out of gas. Barry off his line quickly to gather. Tima. Mohu. Robinson back into Mohu. Big gap for Mohu. He's put that into orbit. It's left the stadium. But Westchester certainly connecting more these last 5 or so minutes after a slow start and really beginning to threaten that goal. But I think I did just hear quite an adept description of the shooting so far from Westchester. Coach Santangelo said the finishing is disturbingly bad. Westchester celebrating their golden jubilee this year, 50 years old, and Coach Santangelo responsible for the incredible rejuvenation of this club, who have accumulated a glittering trophy cabinet under his stewardship, alongside producing a massive array of talent. Perhaps the brightest at the moment of all, Donzo, who's offside. I said it in the pre-match, 12 players in the last 12 months have gone pro from Westchester Predators. Plenty of them featured in the APSL national final last year. Dylan Lacey, one of them, who scored the opening goal against Nova. Ridge Robinson found a hat-trick in that final. That's going to be a foul. Tima came in too hard on the back of Marshall. A bit naive, that foul. And a chance here for Prima to deliver into the 18-yard box. Glenn and Alvarez over it. Alvarez swings it in. That's a good ball. It comes to Keegan. The flag is up. On the initial delivery, I think, looked very, very tight, that line. In the aftermath on that second ball, when Keegan brought it down, he was very honest. He got a clip on their heels. Probably could have gone down and won himself penalty. Of course, it would all would have been irrelevant in the end with the linesman's flag, but opted to stay on his feet and take the strike. Hilton. Ridge Robinson. Tima. Space on the right side for Mohu. It's a good spraying ball by Tima. Mohu can have a go at Wegelin. Mohu, lovely feet, Mohu! That is the quality and danger of Ayo Mohu right there. 2 on him. Looked like he was threading a needle there, but he did so with sublime footwork. That's a poor call by the linesman. You can see from here. Came off of Miller's touch last, and you can actually see Miller's reaction of frustration initially that he'd given away that throw-in. Grodhouse. Marcano, Grodhouse again. Couldn't return it to the overlapping Marcano. Prima FC Quite a story. Founded in 2011 as a pub team. They were called Brewhouse FC back then because the founders literally met in a brew house. They became more serious in 2015 when they rebranded as Little Five FC. But even then, they were nowhere near what they are today. Prima FC was formed in 2019, and that was really with the intent of becoming a leading pre-professional club in America. It was founded by Boris Friedman, named after his family gym. The club took a long pause over COVID, and then beyond that, when Boris very sadly passed away from cancer in 2023, Will Keegan rebooted the club, keeping it named Prima in Boris's honour. So 2 years ago, Keegan set about this task. And back then, Prima, let's just see how this attack develops. Mellor's gone down. Penalty Westchester. Clipped on the heels. And midway through this first half, Westchester are going to have the opportunity to square things up. Mellor got himself the wrong side of the defender. It looked from here as if there was certain contact. Prima fell asleep on the throw-in, and Funzia Donzo has the chance to score his third penalty in 4 games in the APSL. The 19-year-old Donzo takes the heavy responsibility on his young shoulders. Look at that. Absolutely flawless confidence and flawless execution from Funzia Donzo. He squares it up for the national champions. It's 1-1, just past 25 minutes here at Segra Field. Donzo's 8th goal in 5 playoffs. There was some talk after the North East playoffs whether he would actually make it this far, because there was already scouts, including from MLS and USL Championships clubs, very interested in him. It's hard to imagine this talent isn't going to end up on a bigger stage at some point, but for now, we get to watch and savour yet another episode of the Donzo Show. Prima will be very disappointed with the manner of the goal that they've conceded there. They can complain about the penalty, and watching it back, maybe it was the wrong call. You guys have to make that assessment. We don't have the replay yet, but it was really poor defending off of that throw-in. Luke Mellor trying to touch it in behind for Rick Wagelin. He's going to keep that in. Portuguese fullback, one of 2 Portuguese players in the squad. Turned over by Prima. Ranging ball by Alvarez. And the whistle's going to be blown there against Marcano, who brought it down. And he's just following in on the ball there. Perhaps the referee judging he was slightly late. Westchester player got a first touch. Bogle. Weaver. Andrew Hilton. Marcano tracking back. Keegan attempted the cute back heel. Lost, no. Westchester having lots of the ball. What a touch by Donzo. Slightly too much on it. And Donzo doing the dirty work too. Alvarez off for this first touch. Miller. Ridge Robinson. Rick. Fincher Donzo. Tima. Member of the APSL DRC Team of the Year. Tima. Mohu tees it up. Ridge Robinson and Miller. Cleared out by Fragakis. Miller may have been attempting to go on the target there. He was hoping for a handball, might have also been looking for Tima on the cutback. There's no doubt, once we passed the 10-minute mark, Westchester really started to come into this game after the poor start. And they are pummeling the penalty area at the moment of Prima. Ridge Robinson. Too many white shirts. Good footwork by Christopher Marshall. Carvalho. Alvarez. Helped around the corner by Wegelin. Carvalho. Back to Wegelin. There's an overload on the left side. Lovely dummy by Wegelin. Marshall. There's a gap inside. Grodhouse tried one more pass. Marcano was screaming for it. It's going to be a throw-in for Westchester and an early change here for Prima. And it's the Irishman Rooney who's going to be withdrawn, and that can only conclude must be carrying a knock. Brian Davis replacing him, or Davis Bryan even, excuse me. This national semi-final's taken on a very different start to what Westchester experienced a year ago. They played kick-off elites from Boston, and I think at this point they're around 5-0 up. Although they certainly are on top at the moment, Prima scored early and have certainly looked threatening on the counter-attack. Hilton, who was stretching to keep that in and couldn't do a lot with the cross. Miller tracking back. Hilton able to keep it. Ridge Robinson drifts out left towards the far post. Wegelin dealt with that very well. Marcano. The referee should have played advantage there. Fragakis. Fragakis and Tanaka is on the bench today for Westchester, teammates in the past at the University of Albany. Miller heading inside for Prima. Donzo. Donzo spinning, but he overran that, and he does still have that maturity in his game at times. Donzo, he overcomplicates it at times. Sometimes perhaps in positions where he shouldn't. We're going back a little bit to Prima's history. So there, well, let's just see how this attack develops. Keegan unable to find a teammate, Mohu. But Prima back for 2 years in their latest iteration, and their first year back, they were in the Atlanta District Amateur Soccer League, which then formed a partnership at the beginning of this season with the APSL, and the APSL became the top division, the Terminus Conference, for the ADASL, and Prima managed to win that outright on the final day. They were 6 points behind with about 6 weeks remaining, but they won out their remaining games to win it on the final day. So it's whipped in and headed on by Fragakis. Couldn't hit the target. Hilton. Mella. Fortunate to get it back, the Englishman, who was turncoat yesterday in the Transatlantic Cup, played for the American side Westchester Predators against it. Fist an Englishman, Arthurian League. Here's Funzia Donzo coming into the area. Rick dinks it in, and very unconventional from Barry, went in with his foot rather than his hands. Christopher Marshall's done well. He's all by himself at the moment. It would have been extraordinary if he could have worked his way past all 3 of those defenders. One back by James, and Westchester are still short of the back. Keegan. Delivery blocked, throw in for Prima. Guys, reminder, we've got more APSL national final coming up later today, 8 p.m. Alianza FC taking on the Texans Foro Soccer Club back here at Segra Field, and then the national final will be tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. One of these teams are looking to punch a ticket. Both these teams have generally had very mean defences in the APSL this year. Westchester conceding just above a goal a game. For Prima, it was less than 1. It was 0.77 in the regular season. Somewhat of a different beast in the playoffs, though. They beat Peachtree 5-1 in the semis of their conference playoffs, and then the final against Majestic was 3-3, an epic, and it was won in penalties. Ridge Robinson charging forwards, headed up in the air by Barry. Robinson taking a tumble, and he's going to get penalised. And then a little unhappy, Ridge Robinson. That's something other in the aftermath with James. Wiggling.
You warm up so good. He's like, aw, thanks.
Barry clears it. Good win by Marcano, and again, the linesman signalled it for Westchester. The referee overruled him. I think Prima feel like they can't get a break from either of these linesmen at the moment. James. Grodhouse. Marshall, that's the clever ball. Alvarez. Offside. It's been a good 5 minutes for Prima. They've started to see more of the ball after toughing out a difficult 20 or so minutes. If you are just joining us, Prima took the lead very early. Captain and head coach Keegan scoring after just 5 minutes. Donzo has equalised on the 25th minute from the spot for Westchester. Rick, Coach Santangelo, urging more tempo from his Westchester players. Mohu. Tima. He's got great burst forwards, Tima, when he accelerates. Great vision as well, multiple ways that he can break the lines. That looked like some decent distribution for a second, but excellent tracking back from the fullback, James. James. Too much on it for Marshall. Hilton. Bella finds Rick. Ridge Robinson. Mohu. Robinson again. Luca Mella. Mohu, nothing really to aim for in the middle for him. And an uncharacteristic missed touch from him. Lost possession. A poor pass from the substitute. Brian. Miller. Mella. Ridge Robinson, who can spin on a dime. Hilton out to Donzo. He's got inside of James, and what a Maradona turn by Donzo. This could be exceptional. In the end, what would have been perhaps the solo goal of the season. Blocked by Bryant. A coy touch to get inside of James by Donzo, and then a majestic Maradona turn to beat the second man. Jaw-dropping stuff from the teenager. He sends in the corner, big shout, and a great punch by Barry. Miller. Mohu. Rick, lots of black shirts to aim for. Miller flicks it on, it hits the crossbar, and goes in. Westchester lead for the first time this evening. Luca Miller rising above the pack and beautifully guiding into the top corner. No chance for Barry, in off the crossbar. And right before half time, the national champions flip this semi-final. That's a beautiful delivery back in by Mason Miller too. Teasing cross, but when Miller met that, he was pretty far out. And he did really well to keep the pace on the header. And the direction of the shot was exceptional. Miller has got him behind again. He's all by himself. Robinson with him. Miller! He got tackled late. He wants the penalty. Referee's not giving it. And the chance squandered for Westchester. Mohu think perhaps Prima could just do with a half-time whistle to regroup. Miller. Gonzo! That's an astonishing save by Mitchell Barry to prevent it from going from bad to worse for Prima in the moments before the half-time whistle. This has got shades of the Hoboken semi, where Westchester struck twice in the dying moments of the first half. Three minutes of stoppage time. Donzo fires in and Barry will gather and Prima can just take a breath here. 2-1 is certainly a scoreline they've got a good chance of recovering from. 3-1, not impossible. Hoboken showed that. They were 4-0 down and they nearly brought it back, but a very tall order against Westchester. Miller. James clears it. Marcano. Floated ball by Marshall. Gabriel Alvarez. Gladhouse. Wagelin went for a very ambitious shot, took a deflection off of Weaver and gathered by Ganais. Ball we kept in by Wagelin. Marshall. Hilton keeping him in his pocket. Prima have perhaps not got Marshall on the ball as much as they'd want to. He's a really pivotal part of the creativity for them. Scored 13 goals himself as well. Here's Keegan, couldn't turn. Fungia Donzo. Extravagant first touch. He's got James on his toes again. Donzo towards the far post. Mohu tried to cut it back for Mella. Corner kick. 30 seconds left of what's been a very entertaining first half. Towards the near post, that's really awkward. There's a slight touch by Alvarez and it took it towards his own goal. There's a man on the line able to clear it. Wagelin. Maybe time for one last attack for Prima. I don't think so now. Goes out for a throw-in, and that is the end of the first half. Prima with the first word very early. Will Keegan scoring, but it's Westchester who've had their last. Mella right on the stroke of half-time, completing the turnaround after Donzo levelled it up from the spot. And you say Prima fortunate not to have conceded another goal right before the half-time whistle. But as it stands, it's 2-1 here at Segra Field. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish. Flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Hello everyone, welcome back to Segra Field. Westchester Predators leading 2-1 after falling behind early to Prima. Very open half, there was good chance at either end. I think it's fair to say Westchester did overall have the rub of the green, even though they had a bad start. But we will also see what sort of effect did the Transatlantic Cup have on some of these Westchester players who played yesterday. Coach Santangelo was very careful managing the minutes of players like Robinson, Donzo. But nonetheless, they still did get some decent playing time less than 24 hours ago. That can add up. Will Keegan, who started the scoring, will start the second half. Both teams unchanged coming out the break. Of course, there was an early sub forced for Prima. Rooney replaced by Bryant at the back, but other than that, it's the same 11s that walked out at the beginning of the semi-finals. There's Mitchell Barry in the early touch, and he certainly looked a bit suspect in moments, but also produced a stunning save to deny Donzo right before half-time, which would have potentially put the semi-final really close to out of the reach of Prima. Tima sprays it to Mohu, brings that down with a positive first touch. Excellent recovery by the Portuguese fullback. Weigolin didn't clear it well though. Robertson back into the danger area. Finzia Donzo. Ball got stuck under him and brought out by Grodhouse, and Keegan is on his bike. Slightly too much on that ball to him. Held over the top by Hilton. Mellor, who scored that header from almost the edge of the penalty area. Right at the end of the first half, it was an extraordinary connection by him. A really good redirection as well, came off the underside of the crossbar to beat Barry. Donzo got a foot in there, and I think that's harsh. It looked like he reached in and got a foot on the ball. You can see he was being careful not to clip the legs. Carvalho to take the free kick. Donzo being a little egregious with the yard stealing. Carvalho floats it in, didn't beat the first man. Tima finds Finzia Donzo, and Westchester can look to start the break. Donzo. Luca Mellor. Mohu ambling into the penalty area. Mellor sends it in early. Corner kick for the Predators. Donzo to swing it in. Towering header. Bogle. Donzo. Lovely touch. Curls it in. Weaver! It's another save to remember by Barry. That was even better than the one that denied Donzo. Weaver with the point-blank header bouncing it down. And Barry acrobatically, somehow or other, kept that from going out. From going in even, excuse me, I should say. Two staggering saves either side of the half by Barry. Grodhouse. Marcano. Grodhouse continued his run. Floats it in. Considerable height of Weaver getting in the way of that. And you can't say Weaver did too much wrong with that header either. Bounced it down. Perhaps could have redirected slightly more into the corner, but really, he would have felt he'd done enough to open the score, to give Westchester a third goal, excuse me, but more heroics from Mitchell Barry. Hilton looking over the top, Donzo spinning away from Bryant. And Brian is very isolated here against the teenage sensation, but he did well. Didn't dive in there. Brian. Another substitution made for Prima. Attack, Ade Nicholson has come on. Donzo with another corner kick. Bent in, good punch out by Barry. Ade Nicholson with his first touch. Did well to hold that ball up. James. And then there was some off the ball argy-bargy. Miller. I think must have had a little tug. I honestly didn't see it. And then Coach Santangelo unhappy that someone for a Prima called for a yellow card, which of course is a bookable offence in and of itself. But at the end it is just Mason Miller who goes into the book. Cavallo, not sure that was the intended method of delivery. Barry. Bogo unable to find a teammate. Alvarez swings it in, headed out by Bogle and his teamer. Donzo onside. Shapes it across the opposite winger. Mohu, who scampers to keep it in. He's got Robinson in the middle and Donzo at the far post into Ridge Robinson. Miller was that full stretch. And Brian dove in there as well. Forced Miller to take the shot quickly and didn't get clean contact on it. Westchester looking for that cushion. They didn't find it in the transatlantic final yesterday and conceded with about 20 minutes left. The game went to penalties, which Westchester did survive. Mohu. Searching for Donzo. Flag went up. Barry off his line. And that may prove to be very fruitful. And then there's offside the other end. And some of the officiating is a little suspect. There might have been some miscommunication. Prima should be getting that first offside. Not sure that headsets are working for the official team. The referee's going to make the correct decision after some discussion, and Prima will get the initial offside. That was a lot harder than it should have been. Grodhouse. Alvarez. Waggling back to Alvarez. Marshall couldn't get it on the turn. He's been quiet. Christopher Marshall. Said earlier in the broadcast, former player of Chattanooga in Nisa when it was a pro league. Turned over by Westchester. Robertson a little heavy with his touch. Bryant, he does well. Grodhouse. Oh, that was Marshall, excuse me, off with his pass. Miller. That's going to find its way to Mohu. Wagland gambled and he got it wrong. Mohu is too casual with that cross in, and you know what? He just may have pulled something there, Ayub Mohu. He's holding that left hamstring. That's really concerning for Westchester. Do not want to lose him at this point in the game. And also, of course, if they do end up winning, they've got the final tomorrow at 2:30. Sean Tanaka is stripped down and about to come on. But if he has twinched his hamstring, it's hard to imagine he's going to be able to continue. Whilst we have this pause, let me remind you, we've got another semi-final in the APSL coming up here at Segra Field at 8 p.m. Alianza FC will take on Foro Soccer Club. I'll be back here on Game Frame YouTube, and we'll have the national final to determine who is the sixth APSL champion. 2:30 p.m. live tomorrow.
World Cup score update. If you don't want to hear it, I'll give you a second to close your ears. England, Panama, 0-0. Croatia 1, Ghana 0.
And this is going to be the end of Mohu's evening. It's limping off, and that's a big, big concern for coach Sant'Angelo. So I imagine Sean Tanaka, who had actually stripped down before Mohu pulled up, imagine Tanaka is now going to replace him. I'm not sure if that was the original idea. So Mohu sadly withdrawn, hopefully nothing too serious, but it doesn't look good when you pull up and there's no contact. There's going to be some shuffling around for Westchester. Tanaka has gone to left back, and I just wonder as well if Coach Sant'Angelo has switched it to A back five for Westchester, a back three with wing backs, with Hilton now the right wing back. And Robinson and Donzo the front two. I think that is the change. So it's a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, depending how you see it with those wing backs. Miller, approaching the hour point in the semi-final. All three goals coming in the first half. Keegan for Prima in the opening 5 minutes. Donzo from the spot, pulled it level 20 minutes after that, and then right before half-time, Luca Mella with a marvellous header. And here's Mella again. Been a few fantastic saves by Barry as well for Prima to keep it at 2-1. Keep Prima in the game. Rick. Tima. Ball went out of play. Oh, clumsy from Tima. Good distribution by Barry. And Alvarez taking it under his wing. Christopher Marshall, can he get going? He's got some space here. Christopher Marshall! Oh, it's glorious! Prima's number 10 explodes into life and sensationally ties up the game once again. That was special. That was really special. A worldie by Christopher Marshall. Game on at Segra Field. And Prima are going to make a change. Their other Portuguese player, Samson Nessamo, on for James. Well, this man, Barry, gets a lot of credit for that, not only for the saves he made to keep it at a one-goal margin, but also that distribution started the whole counter-attack up to Alvarez. Took half of Westchester's team out of the game. Marshall was afforded that space about 30 yards out. He was able to take it forwards a bit. He had so much time to think about it, and sometimes too much time can be a bad thing, but he used every second to pick out his spot and beautifully guided in. Moment of the game so far. Weaver. Ganais. Clever touch by Mella, who's starting to look a little heavy-legged again. One of the players who played yesterday, Donzo. Nesamoa tries to get up to speed quickly, hasn't that time. Donzo, good recovery by Bryant. Nesamo, no sooner as he's come onto the pitch, he's got finisher Donzo staring down the whites from his eyes. Donzo to take the corner kick once again. He served up some very tricky deliveries for the back line of Prima towards the far post. There's a little bit of pushing the referee judged. Sharp distribution from Barry again. There's a huge question mark now about the energy levels of these players as we go into the final 27 minutes of the game. Again, Westchester, so many of these players playing at least a half of football yesterday against the English side, Arthurian. But Will Keegan also talked to me from Prima about it is an older side that he fields. Another change being made for Westchester now. Tima withdrawn. Justin Thomas on. The national champions at time looked as if they were strolling towards the championship last year. Even against Nova, they ended up running out 5-1 winners. They were 2-0 up at half-time. They were definitely the best side, and Nova went down to 10 very early in the second half, and that just about sealed it. But every single playoff Western have had to go through this year has been a challenge in one way or the other. Real Central New Jersey in the local Delaware River Conference semi took them to penalties. They led Westchester 2-0 with about 30 minutes remaining. In the Delaware River final, Oakland United held Westchester until the 88th minute. It took a Donzo late brace to win it. In the Northeast semis, although Westchester looked as if they were coasting to victory, they fell up at half-time. Hoboken brought it back to 4-3 with 10 minutes left, and Westchester were really rocking. And Nova gave Westchester a really close run for their money in the Northeast final. It was 1-1 until the final 20 minutes when again Donzo came up good. And now it's Prima's turn to make the national champions sweat, to make them have to think how they can solve this problem. Hilton off. Ethan Birch on. Birch, a player who started in Westchester's reserves this season, but really impressed and earned his spot in the first team squad. Bogle got a touch, and it's kept in by Ganais. And the referee is blown up. What's he blown for? He can't have given that a back pass, surely not. That was the tackle by Bogle. I've been really, really unconvinced with this referee, I've got to be honest. It's easy to have an opinion and criticise the referees, but I would imagine one or two of you at home are also raising your eyebrows. Perhaps it's evening out. But Prima, with the indirect free kick here, right on the byline. Everyone back for Westchester. Touch back. And it was Marcano with the strike, but the black shirts rushed out and did their job. Corner kick, more defending for the Predators to do. Corner taken short. Good footwork by Marcano. Birch prevented the cross, and another corner kick. Alvarez will swing it in. There's a decent chance there for Brian, who I think might have got the first touch on that. Rick with the final one.
World Cup score update. England 2, Panama 0.
Floated in. Nice punching it, a lot of pressure on him. Good decision by the keeper. Donzo's going to look to break it in. Maybe Birch is going to sneak in behind Barry in absolute no man's land. And that is a superb recovery run by Ryan Marcano, the winger. Managed to out-sprint Birch. Barry was in all sorts of trouble. Have Birch gotten that first? And it looks as if Ethan Birch has gone into that centre forward position, and Westchester may have returned to a 4-3-3. They switched to the 3-5-2 when they were leading 2-1. but they need a goal again, and I'm sure Coach Santangelo does not want extra time. Again, can't stress enough the minutes that numerous players in black played yesterday. Bogle. Hopeful ball, not much more than that. All the wind taken out of Westchester's sails since that spectacular Prima equaliser by Marshall. And here is Marshall. Grodhouse. Otherwise, I think generally it's been an afternoon to forget for Marshall, up to that point at least. Done very little, but showed his quality with one stroke of the boot. Bryant. Idea was there, but execution was not. Marcano is in the centre forwards position at the moment for Prima. Ade Nicholson, excuse me, on the flank. Here's Robinson. Miller. Weaver. Tanaka. They've got a lovely Meg on Ade Nicholson. Ade Nicholson not giving up on it. That would be a foul on Grodhouse. Barry. Weaver with the first header. Donzo helps it on to Ridge Robinson, who's been kept relatively quiet by Prima. Someone who just needs half a yard to punish. 34 goals in the APSL this season. He's the national top scorer again. Topped the charts last year with 28. I should note there was significantly less games last year for Westchester. The Delaware River Conference was smaller and the postseason was shorter. Last year it was just 4 playoff games for Westchester. This is their 5th, and in the league they had 18 games last year. This year they had 22. American Premier Soccer League is growing at a rapid pace. 4 conferences added for this season, bringing it up to 9. Grodhouse. Good foot in by Thomas. Donzo hoping half-heartedly for a free kick. Of course, if it does stay level, we're going to go to 30 minutes of extra time. If no one can win it then, it's the dreaded penalty shootout. It will be Westchester's second in the space of 24 hours. Weaver. Tanaka. Thomas. Pass one, and then he got pulled over. Clumsy tackle by Nessimo, and he's going to go into the book for that. Little harsh, possibly his first foul. Once again, Donzo, the only set-piece candidate for Westchester. Such a beautiful field here in Leesburg, Virginia. Segra Field was finished in 2019, so very recent facility. Donzo, low drive in at that near post. I wonder if he was actually trying to catch Barry off guard. He nearly did. I think that was probably just going wide, but Barry had to be sure. Donzo just dinks it in that time. SMO with the first header, ballooning up like a beach ball. Mella pops it up. Finally headed out by Bryant. Donzo, lots of options still to aim for. He went for that himself, and he'll be getting a few side eyes from his teammates. Prima are going to make another substitution. Andrew Grodhouse, they put in a good shift in the centre midfield to be replaced by Jacob Sawyer.
Substitution for Prima entering the match, number 3, Jacob Sawyer.
So it looks like Wagelin will go into the centre midfield, and Sawyer is posted at left back. Flicked on by Marcano. Whereas wasn't quick enough on the punch though. Well, whatever the final score here, Prima FC can certainly go home with their heads held high. Again, only rejuvenated as a club 2 years ago. Will Keegan said they wanted to come here and compete, believe they could compete, but also just the fact they had reached here so early in their lifespan in the APSL. Something as Donzo's at that far post! Donzo strikes again! It's always that man in the final 20 minutes. He scored 5 goals in the previous 3 playoffs in the last 20 minutes. And he may have found the winner for Westchester there. 14 minutes remaining. Westchester 3, Prima 2. Barry might be a little unhappy with himself. He couldn't save that. It squeezed in at his near post. Couldn't quite get across the frame quickly enough. Got contact on it, but only could put it into his own net. And just as saying, Prima can hold their heads high no matter the result. Westchester score. And it could get worse now for Prima. And that's absolutely extraordinary. The referee hasn't played advantage. That is extraordinary. That is absolutely mind-blowing. The referee's blowing the whistle there. If the offside flag goes up, then yes, you blow that, but it didn't. And so, I mean, I hate to say it, someone has to have a look back at this referee, because that is not even within the interpretation there. No matter who you support, you simply must play advantage there. And you can only presume it's just a referee doesn't properly understand how the game works and the flow of it, because he's been poor with the advantage on a couple of occasions. You have to look and see what's going on before you blow that whistle, and he hasn't done that. Well, that really was a very good chance for Westchester to win it. The referee has given a massive hand there to Prima. Mind you, I think they felt like they had a few against them, as that one is sent in. Prima may bring it back level. They have! An almost immediate response by Prima. They've equalised again in the second half. Ryan Marcano. It's a minute of huge controversy. Westchester had a clean through chance denied by the referee's whistle at one end, and Prima have gone right down the other and drawn it level. They've refused to lay down in their second half against the champions, refused to follow the well-worn script. Try and predict the next twist, ladies and gentlemen. It's anyone's semi-final once again. Weaver. Ridge Robinson. He felt there's a tread on his heel. The referee didn't. Robinson gingerly getting to his feet. The referee did see that one. Ridge Robinson back gingerly to his feet. Bogle. Weaver. Rick. Ridge Robinson. Donzo. Tanaka. Squeezed out by Ade Nicholson, but then lost by Nesamo Miller. Being allowed to travel forwards, Ethan Butch commits the foul, and then a second time. Ridge Robinson does well to hold that up. Come off his hand, and Robinson feeling a bit hard done by. It was a little nudge in his back as he went forwards. Marshall. Lost the ball, but wins the corner. You can see Marshall just struggling a little bit with cramp. It's been a high tempo, high octane game. About as entertaining a semi-final as you could hope for. Had 6 goals, lots of other chances. A fair bit of controversy. Referee's been a wild card, to say the least. A yellow card is going to be given, I think, to Ridge Robinson. Something he said to the referee, actually, and Mason Miller. Towards the front post, helped on. They're queuing up at that far post. I think it had gone out by the time Brian headed it. Tanaka. Robinson onside. Thomas. Bogle. Sent towards Ridge Robinson, who went for the diving header. Barry came off his line and got nowhere near it, and the goal was gaping. Ridge Robinson at full stretch couldn't connect onto it cleanly. Thomas doubled up on Marcano, wanted a foul and he's going to get one. Weaver came in through the back of him, and this is in shooting territory for Prima. The Georgian upstarts taking the defending national champions right to the finish line. Two standing over it for Prima. It's cannoned into the wall by Alvarez. Fantastic tackle. I think Weigulen who made that. A little awkward for Mella, who could only put it out for a throw-in. With the final coming up tomorrow at 2:30, onus really is on both teams not to let this go to extra time. It's actually a huge disadvantage. That's flicked on, very awkward for Tanaka, who did well. Weigulen, poor pass and perhaps just some heavy legs there. Guys, a reminder, we are going to have the second APSL national semi-final, 8 p.m. Alianza FC taking on Foro Soccer Club back here at Segra Field. And we'll also have the national final tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Nesamo, he lets that fly. That had a lot of venom on it. Canais' hands were a match for the strike. Sawyer, the substitute. One back by Birch, and then he got clattered from behind. And again, it's just inexplicable why advantage hasn't been played, because Mella is moving forwards. And now Prima get the chance to get all 11 bodies back behind that ball. Can only conclude the referee doesn't understand the advantage rule. Weigulen. Or excuse me, Tanaka. Sorry. Weaver. Mella. Tanaka. Robinson back to Tanaka. Birch. Intricate football from Westchester. That last pass by Birch around the corner for Donzo could have been the penetrating pass. Didn't get it right. Donzo, look at that, skipping past them like he's slaloming past traffic cones. Weaver. Rick. Unable to find Donzo. Nicholson. Weaver well positioned. Tanaka. Clever touch by Mella. Donzo cuts back. Fingia Donzo. Shot had to make its way through a lot of bodies, wasn't possible. So we tick into the final minute of the 90. The semi-final hangs on a knife edge. Twice Predators have led in their second half, and twice Prima have had an answer. Extra time is looming. Nicholson. Mella pointing to the ball. Referee thought it came in through the back. Number that we're hearing is 4 minutes of additional time. Nesamo. Marshall gave Tanaka the slip, sends it in low. There's that thigh height for Weaver. Just about clears his lines. Good step by Fragakis. Carvalho. Then you can see the heavy legs affecting some of the players who started. Thomas. Donso. He always seems to have energy. The 19-year-old, he's done really well there, Miller. Rick. Past his man. Fragakis does well at the near post. Throwing is held in. Headed out for Prima, but they've got more defending to do, it seems. Bogle back towards the 18-yard box. Nesamo this time with the clearance. Really good tackle by Weaver. Well, Keegan has gone into the bench for expressive dissent. One back by Luke Mellor. He's too strong for Nesamo initially. And he lost his balance as he crossed that in, and it goes harmlessly out for a goal kick. We're halfway through the allotted stoppage time. Well, I feel like I need to breathe having watched this second half. 4 goals, controversy. There's some near misses as well. A great advert for the American Premier Soccer League. These two teams separated by over 1,000 miles, coming together to give us a great spectacle on the field. And Prima are going to have a free kick in the dying seconds of this normal time. Marshall back to his feet gingerly. Alvarez to take the free kick. Everyone defending the penalty area, bar Donzo for Westchester. Alvarez towards the front post, straight into the hands of Canais. Perhaps time for a late counter-attack here for Westchester. Distribution not great though from Canais. And that is the end of a pulsating 90 minutes of football. It finishes at the end of normal time, 3-3. We are going to extra time. Westchester leading twice in that second half. They thought they'd probably won it when Donzo struck in the 78th minute to make it 3-2. And then they had what looked like a clean through opportunity. The referee didn't play advantage. And that was a moment of massive controversy. Prima went up literally down the other end and scored the equaliser. But still, you have to give massive credit to Prima. They have come here and gone toe-to-toe with the APSL national champions, the Amateur Cup champions, and now the Transatlantic champions. And they have given as good as they've got. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back shortly with extra time.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Hello everyone, welcome back to Segra Field. 90 minutes was not enough to separate these sides. The defending national champions, Westchester, are going to have to fight tooth and nail to book their spot back in the national final at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. Huge credit to Prima FC in their inaugural season in the APSL. They've given an admirable display. Neither side making a change after full time. This is going to be a huge test of endurance. Again, Prima, Will Keegan stressed to me, was an aging squad in some respects, so that's going to be interesting to see how those more experienced legs hold up in the next 30 minutes. And Westchester, numerous players playing last night in the Transatlantic final. Coach Santangelo managed the minutes best he could, but still you've got players like Robinson, Donzo, and a few others above 100 minutes already now. Here's Donzo in towards Riz Robinson. Big punch out by Barry, who at times looked a little bit suspect, I thought, but also made some fantastic stops to prevent Westchester extending their lead. Bogle. Ethan Birch. Back to Rick. Tried to shape it towards Donzo, couldn't find him. Good awareness and composure by Nessimo. Prima unable to play out from the back. Mella. Donzo. Donzo's goal, his 8th in the playoffs in 5 games. Fragakis has made a bit of a meal of that. He's given it straight to Donzo. Donzo couldn't capitalise, and then Fragakis canning it into a teammate. It's going to be a corner kick. You can see he's already just stretching a bit, feeling the cramp. Donzo will whip it in. Underwhelming delivery, went straight out. Well, if you're just joining us, having chosen to watch the World Cup games, the 5 o'clock kickoffs instead of this, you've missed a heck of a 90 minutes. It's been back and forth, 6 goals and lots of other talking points. Lost by Thomas. Marshall, who produced the moment of the match so far. Sensational effort from range. Miller, shoulder to shoulder with Nicholson, forced by Nicholson's pressure to put it out for a throw in, deep in Westchester's half. It's going to be a long throw in by Sawyer. Bogle met it. And Weaver with the second clearance. Bryan winning the loose ball, and Ole, he's a centre-back, you know, looking like Maradona for a second. Rick. Birch. Prima combative, and that's a really poor tackle by Mellor. He's going to go into the book. Don't think you can have any complaints about that, Mellor. Bryan making his way up to the penalty area. He's one of the focal points for these set pieces. Sawyer drives it forwards. Reached there's a penalty area, but no further than that. Fired back in by Nicholson and Donso. And Nicholson came together after the shot. Donso in some discomfort. More concern for Westchester, who already lost Ayu Mohu, their prolific left winger, to injury. Bogle. Searching ball for Birch. Over Cook's pass though. Magnificent header by Marshall, flicked on Marcano. Weary did well to cover the space, and the flag was up in any case against Marcano. Weaver. Tried to force the ball over the top for Thomas. It'll end up being a throw-in for Prima. A reminder, we're going to have the second APSL National semi-final back here exclusively on Game & Frame's YouTube channel. 8 p.m. kickoff between Arizona FC from Michigan and Foro Soccer Club from Texas. Who they will meet in the final tomorrow, still a mystery. We're about halfway through this first half of extra time. Donso poked it into Miller, but too hard for him. Then a very ambitious long-range effort from Marshall. Can't blame him for having a crack, given what he already pulled off. And Knice was off his line. Rick, he's fortunate to get that. Error by Carvalho. Rick looking towards Donso, the angle off on the pass, and gathered by Barry. Bogle, you can see he's really struggling with the fatigue. Hopped out wide by Gulen. Floated in. Alvarez and Marshall. There's blocked, and Birch is going to play a sensational ball crossfield to Finzia Donzo. And what can the teenager do here? Donzo with the scissor. Finzia Donzo! It's absolutely astonishing. You run out of words to describe this boy's talent. This 19-year-old is out of this world. 100 minutes into the game, and he's still full of electric pace, tantalising footwork, and exquisite finishes. 4-3 Westchester. And he may have just outdone Marshall with that goal. It's a hat-trick for Finzia Donzo in the APSL National Semi-Final. And this is the first time you've seen Finzia Donzo, this isn't a particularly off-axis performance from him. Scored a hat-trick against Hoboken in the North East semi-final, scored a brace against Nova in the North East final, scored a brace against Oakland in the Delaware River final. It's just been goals, 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 and often at key moments in the game. Can Westchester hold on to the lead this time? This is the third time they have led in this semi-final. Birch got clattered from behind, and the erratic refereeing continues. And Birch, you can see, there's some discomfort. Birch is going to limp off the field. Didn't get a whole lot of sympathy from the Prima spectators. So Westchester temporarily down to 10 men. I imagine we'll get a healthy chunk of stoppage time now. That's going to be a foul. Push in the back of Justin Thomas. Rick, there's still plenty of time for Prima to equalise it again. But how much is left in the tank? How much is left in Westchester's tank? Both sides have given it everything to make this a spectacle we're all going to remember for a very long time. Thomas into Birch. He got his footwork wrong. Ridge Robinson. Wrong touch there from Thomas. So he gives it back to Barry. Big shout from Bogle and a commanding header. Ragulin. Nesamo. Tanaka will win the throw-in for Westchester. Westchester have, I think, one outfield sub remaining on the bench. Gary Zhang was expected to be in the squad, but normally a pretty key player for Westchester, and given we haven't seen him, I've got to imagine probably not available today. Former Nova player Zhang scored against Westchester in the national final last year, and then made the switch for this season. Searching ball, Tanaka will shepherd that out. Again, I expect we're going to get at least another minute of stoppage time at the end of this first period of the extra time. Funzio Donzo has given Westchester their third lead of the game and completed his hat-trick. His hat-trick goal, the pick of the bunch. And here he is again, Donzo. That might have come off his hand. Referee well positioned to spot it. And Donzo's picked that up, and Brian unhappy with that. And the referee's going to give Donzo a booking for delaying the restart. Fragatis. That's a good flick on by Marshall, cleared out by Miller. Regulin. Donzo with the tackle. And then the referee is going to blow half time, and he sent Donzo off. He sent Donzo off for kicking the ball away in frustration. That is a massive decision by the referee, because I think that suspends Donzo for the final. Donzo getting 2 yellows in the space of 60 seconds, and not only could that have massive implications for this semi, but we may lose our sighting of possibly the best talent we've seen in the APSL tomorrow. And Donzo can argue whether full-time whistle was blown. Is that not allowed or not? The referee's judged it to be dissent. I think with the quality of this refereeing, it's safe to say there's been a lot to be left to the side, and to not mince my words, he's not up to this level, not even close to it. And so I do just wonder if someone in a high place might look back and hold an emergency committee on that suspension. There's an inquest going on in Westchester, but they've got to get their heads back in the game now for this final 15 minutes just to make it to the final. But I've got to say, as a neutral, that would be massively disappointing if we don't get to see the talents of Funzio Donzo tomorrow afternoon if Westchester do indeed make it. And perhaps you could make the argument dissent there for Donzo's obviously a kick in frustration. but it's two extremely soft yellow cards. The entire complexion of this final 15 minutes changed for Westchester. You may have thought with 11 they might search for another goal to put the result beyond a doubt, particularly with Donzo as a counter-attacking option, but now it's going to be a desperate siege. They're going to have to park the bus. Marshall, Nessimo, Nicholson, invited forwards. Angle was right, but the height was not. Give and go on the far side for Prima. It's a good tackle by Bogle. Fragakis. Marcano, well, it's clattered from behind, and the referee did actually get the concept of advantage that time and let it run. It wasn't there, so it's going to be a free kick about 35 yards out for Prima. Christopher Marshall, who wasn't too far away from this position when he spectacularly scored, is standing over it. Looks like Gabriel Alvarez as well. It's Marshall, and that was not quite to the standard of his goal. Hope there wasn't any squirrels climbing those trees back there. Might have got hit by that ball. And Marshall was cramped. I think this is going to be familiar for a couple of players in these final moments. Everyone has given just about all they can, and you know the real winners, no matter the score in this semi-final, it's Aliazana FC and Foro, who will be watching these two teams ground themselves down to exhaustion with great relish. If so long as one of those can win it in the 90, that will be a really significant advantage for them tomorrow, even with the later kickoff. That might be the end of Marshall's evening. Provided a moment to remember, he's going to be withdrawn for Thomas Powers. Got to say, the emotions of watching Donzo getting sent off, it's like watching Wayne Rooney getting sent off the World Cup. Just beyond whoever you support or cheer for, it's just knowing that a talent might not be on display the next game of teenage talent. Of course, England ended up getting knocked out by Portugal and Rooney got his red, but no, drew back into my memory bank there. What does that feel like, seeing Donzo go off? And that was what it conjured up, seeing a 17 or 18-year-old Wayne Rooney, whichever it was, trudging off early against Portugal.
Go Prima!
You just want to watch someone like that all the time. That's truly APSL's loss not to have him in the final. Thomas. Tanaka. Thomas. They'll be fouled. A couple of nibbles at his heels. Just 3 up for Westchester. Might find Thomas at that far post. Caught it on the volley, just wide. Actually, it might have been a defensive touch last. Well, at least that's the interpretation from the officials. Birch is going to take it short, and Westchester are just going to try and take some seconds off the clock. And that's really naughty by Nessamo, and he might find himself in some hot water here with the referee. Those hands were raised. That was possibly at neck height there, that push. The exact point that Westchester are making. And no card issued from the referee. And I think that's a minimum yellow. I think Coach Sant'Angelo is just shaking his head. He doesn't even have the energy to argue anymore. He's watched Donzo get a second yellow for kicking a ball, and he's seen Nessamo put hands on a throat and not get a single card as that one is whipped in. The ball seems to be what's needs the most protecting. Well, Westchester have already managed to work off 7.5 minutes of this final period of extra time. Half the challenge for Prima now is just finding that moment of quality with so many heavy legs out there to score, even with the man advantage. Harder to score than defend when you're flat out exhausted. A reminder, we are going to have our second semi-final after this one. It's going to be on a new YouTube event soon. You can find that link on our Instagram or the YouTube channel. Alianza FC against Foro, 8 p.m. That will be kicking off. If this goes to penalties, it could well be slightly delayed. You can catch it exclusively on Game of Frame. Birch. Good footwork from Birch. Opens up Ethan Birch. Relatively comfortable save for Barry. And he held it out quickly. Sawyer. Nessamo, who may be a tad fortunate to still be on the field. Sawyer. Fragakis. Volcano holds it up. Sawyer, all 10 men, including the goalkeeper for Westchester, behind the ball, of course. With them reduced. With Donzo's red, driven in low by Brian. That may fall to Alvarez, who could again do a spell. There's a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. I'm not sure if it's a handball there or what. Prima arguing it's in the area. Really hard to see where exactly that contact was from here. But nonetheless, this is a very promising position for Prima. It's the top scorer for Prima, Alvarez, over this. 25 goals this season in the APSL. Marcano also a potential candidate. It's going to be left to Alvarez. 5 in Ganice's wall. This could be the best chance Prima get to level it up. Over the wall! They've done it again! 4-4! A beautifully guided free kick! Gabriel Alvarez with his 26th goal of the season! The most important yet for Prima! It looks like we're going to penalties. Five men in the wall and the hefty frame of Ganice. No one can stop it. A heat-seeking missile into the top corner. What heart they've shown. They've come back from behind 3 times. Another change made. Nessamo off. A restaurant. Westchester Predators facing their second penalty shootout in less than 24 hours. Arresta. If you're Prima, probably go to try and win this now. Alvarez was offside. Another change being made by Prima, their final substitution. Sawyer coming off, so actually both the substitute fullbacks making way. Charles Blankenship replacing him. Hammered up. Ball will come to Birch. Ridge Robinson very nearly spun his man, and then Birch unnecessarily heavy on the back because that ball had fallen to Tanaka. Ridge Robinson a whisker away from escaping the clutches of Bryant. It's been a very quiet evening for the national top scorer. You can be sure he'll take a penalty, probably the first one for Westchester. Did so last night. Tanaka. Mellors won that 50-50 and he's going to win a corner kick for Westchester. Surely we're not going to get another goal.
Hey guys, two goals!
There was some talk of storms and even lightning this afternoon, but the only electricity we've seen has been on the field. One of the games of the entire APSL season across all 9 conferences. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Does it have a final act in this extra time? It's been spilled! Oh, that was nearly an absolute howler from Barry. So fortunate there, the goalkeeper. There was no one in a black shirt waiting to toe it in. Ridge Robinson has been added to the referee's notebook. Two minutes is the number we've been told for additional time. I imagine you're all tired just watching this, but also you don't want it to end. What a spectacle it's been. Blankenship, reverse it inside to Alvarez. Alvarez still onto his right foot. There's Marcano even, excuse me, couldn't thread it through the bodies. That, I think, should have been a foul. Referee didn't give it. Thomas is going to bring it out. Crunching, take no prisoners, tackle that, got all the ball by Fragakis. Sent it towards Alvarez, who can win it. Nicholson nearly pouncing on the rebound. Brian. There is tired legs out there. It's mind over matter. In towards Alvarez again. Weaver rises. Marcano. Well wide. And that might be that. The penalty shootouts beckon. The penalty shootout beckons. Robertson flicks it on. Brought down by Rick. Really well done by Mellor. Last attack here for Westchester. Mellor rides the tackle. 3 options in the box. He can barely move, Mellor. He's going to fire that in. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Predators. This is it. This is the APSL national semi-final on the line. Can the Predators win it now? Or is it going to penalties? Mellor. Referee preemptively making sure there's no argy-bargy in the 18-yard box. Outswinger. Robinson towards that far post. And that is that. A script with every twist and turn you could possibly imagine. Goals of all shapes and sizes, controversy, perhaps a villain in the referee. A hero in Donzo with his hat-trick. You thought until he got that red, which was, I think, so harsh. And then a hero in the shape of Gabriel Alvarez, guiding in the free kick with 5 minutes of extra time remaining to send us to penalties. I don't need to tell you guys, do not go anywhere. We'll be back shortly with the deciding penalty shootout between Westchester Predators and Prima FC.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish. Flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, Your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Welcome back to Segra Field. For the second time in the postseason, the national champions, Westchester Predators, are taken to penalties. They beat Real Central New Jersey 4-3 when the sides met in the APSL DRC semi-final. So the first round of playoffs was where Westchester was last taken to this point. Every other playoff they have won by at least a 2-goal margin. Exactly, in fact, all of them they've won previously by a 2-goal margin. But the Atlanta newcomers, Prima FC, have remarkably taken this to shootout and could pull off a huge upset. Westchester's 45-game unbeaten record on the line in the APSL. It's going to be Gabriel Alvarez, who took it to penalties, who steps up first and tucks home with proficiency. Said Ridge Robertson likely would take the first penalty. He had a pretty quiet final. So rare. The captain misses in front of goal. And he's come good once again. Once again, the goalkeeper sent the wrong way. Both penalties put into that bottom right corner. Kevin Carvalho next on the chopping block. Carvalho, and once again it's that side, and once again the nice dives to the left. Two on Prima. It's Ethan Birch's turn. Birch scored in their previous APSL shootout. And he's done so again. First time either side has gone to that left corner. Once again, the goalkeeper dives to the left corner, but just too much quality in the strike. Prima also getting to this game via a penalty shootout in the Terminus Conference final. They beat Majestic 4-3. That game wasn't live streamed and stats weren't kept on the penalty, so obviously no idea who scored and who didn't. Ryan Meccano, who scored in the normal time. Up now for round 3. Pass Ganais. Another super penalty. John Ricks. Midway through the shootout. Mitchell Barry, who definitely had an up and down evening. He's produced some majestic saves and also had a few very slippery moments, but he can be the hero. And not this time, roof of the net. By Ricks. Absolutely no chance for Barry. And now it's Davis Bryan, who came on early in the first half for the injured Adam Rooney. Was excellent, contained Ridge Robinson. And now they're looking for him to finish. Saved by Ganais! No, it's gone in! How's that gone in? It's snuck through his hands. Could hear the contact from here. And somehow that's made its way in. Ganais, who made 2 saves in the DRC semi-final. Penalty shootout. Will be really disappointed with himself that time. It's 4-3. We're getting to the business end of the shootout. Justin Thomas. Once again, it's brilliant from Westchester. And we're in effectively sun and death now. Christian Wegulin, who played all 120 minutes, streaked up and down the left flank. He's got 1 kick left to make. His most important of the night. Ganais saves it this time, and Westchester are a kick away from returning to the national final. It comes down to Ahmet Bogle and Mitchell Barry. Over 3 hours of edge of your seat drama. A semi-final to remember. Ahmet Bogle saved! Saved by Barry! And what a save it was! At full stretch! The only thing you could criticise there from Bogle's penalty was his uncomfortable height. But in terms of placement, it was right in the corner. And Barry sprung across the goal to keep Prima alive. It's the substitute Thomas Powers here. The weight of the world on his shoulders. He didn't show it. He puts Ganais the wrong way. And now all the pressure is on Westchester. And Mason Miller. This could be it. Mason Miller tucks it in. It's a game that just will not end. We've gone to round 7 of the shootout. Zachary Nicholson. And I can tell you we're definitely going to be delayed with the kickoff of our second semi-final, because the team's going to need time to warm up on the field as well. Ade Nicholson. Arrowed into the bottom corner. Seen an exhibition of fantastic penalties. And once again, Westchester must score. Luca Mella this time, with the worst possible job in football, taking the penalty to keep his side alive. Down the middle. And you could almost see the fatigue of Mason Miller there with that kick. But he did enough. Charles Blankenship only came on for the final few minutes here. Only touched the ball a few times. And he's been denied by Knies. And Westchester once again have match point. It's always tricky when you come on late in the game to then have to take the penalty. It wasn't a great one by Blankenship. And Jake Weaver has the chance to finally have the final word here at Segra Field. Weaver, he's done it! Westchester return to the national finals to defend their APSL title. They've done it in the hardest way imaginable. Prima took them right to the wire. 4-4 in normal time. 7-6 in penalties. But it's Westchester who get the job done. And Finja Donzo, we can see running on the far side. He'll be hoping that there's some miraculous reprieve for his suspension. He got sent off, I thought, really harshly. But dazzled with a hat-trick for Westchester. Enormous credit to Prima. Their first ever season in the APSL. They've come down here to Virginia and come a whisker away from beating the national champions and handing them their first defeat in the APSL in 45 games. I'm sure we'll see them back here sooner rather than later. But now Westchester await the winner of our second semi-final. Alianzana against Foro. That kickoff is obviously going to be delayed. It's meant to be 8 p.m. I imagine it'll be at least 15 minutes late with that due to this going to penalties. But guys, for now, that's it from myself and Hoy Espinosa. John Howard and Hoy will be back for the second semi-final. That will be on a new event on YouTube. Allow us 2 or 3 minutes to get ourselves back live. You can find the link on Instagram or back here on YouTube. We'll see you back for the second semi-final.